Good morning, my brothers and sisters. Good morning, and welcome back to another Good Morning Grief Devotion. It's your boy, Pastor Corey Allen Duncan Sr. So happy and excited to have this wonderful opportunity to come to you today to lead you in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. This is the daily grief devotion that is strategically designed to help you to navigate through your grief one day at a time. What is grief? I'm so glad you asked. Grief, my brothers and sisters, it is the natural, normal, and necessary response to loss, change, and transition that results in the expression of feelings and emotions. Grief is what you feel on the inside. Mourning is how you express it on the outside. Therefore, we don't suppress it, but we express it. We don't ignore it, but we explore it. We don't conceal it, but we reveal it. We don't lock it up, but we let it out. That's why we shout good morning, because morning is a good thing. And I'm so glad that you're here with us on today as we lead you in a very special way in today's Good Morning Grief Devotion. Thank you so very much for joining us. We are so glad that you are here. Grateful and thankful for your presence. Grateful and thankful for this opportunity. Grateful and thankful for the chance to be able to continue to help you to navigate through your grief journey. Thank you very much. And without further ado, if you're ready and I'm ready, there's only one thing left to do. Let us turn to our grief devotion. Today is day 312. We're going to talk about real quick. I'm sensitive to grief. I'm sensitive to grief. I am sensitive to grief. Let's talk about it. People who've experienced a staggering loss in their lives get it. People who haven't don't. People who have experienced a staggering loss in their life, guess what, y'all? Oh, they get it. People who haven't, they do not. I can remember this was a few years ago. Somebody had lost somebody, and they had somebody tell them they were uncompassionate. They were just like, yo, yeah, why are you doing all of that? It don't take all of that. I mean, they really ridiculed how they were grieving. And just a couple of months later, that person lost somebody, right? Oh, and they were 10 times worse as the other person. And later had to come back and apologize, right? Because initially they didn't understand, but eventually they did understand. When you've experienced a staggering loss, right? Oh, you get it. The pain that you feel as you navigate through the loss, the change, and the transition is unreal. It's indescribable, right? And if you have not yet gone through a loss like that, you will not get it. You won't understand. You won't be able to. You won't be able to identify or understand if you have not experience that type of pain or hurt for yourselves. People who've experienced a staggering loss in their lives, they get it. People who haven't, they don't. When it comes to loss and grief, there's no substitute for personal experience. I don't care how much you read, I don't care how much you study, I don't care what you done went and got. None of that matters. There's no substitute for personal experience. There is no substitute for personal experience. If you have not waded through these waters of weariness, right? If you have not gone through the gauntlet of grief, right? If you have not meandered the mall of mourning, right? Then the reality is you won't understand it. When it comes to loss and grief, there's no substitute for personal experience. I feel awakened to the reality of profound loss. But it seems like many other people are still asleep. I'm in the group that gets it. When I'm in need of grief support, let me go back. I love it. It says, I've been awakened to the reality of profound loss, but it seems like many other people are still asleep. There are people who are in the fraternity and sorority of profound loss, right? There are some people who are not in that fraternity and not in that sorority. And I want to say yet, because at some point in time, everybody is going to experience loss, change, and transition. But for those of you who are on here, we are in the fraternity and we are in the sorority of loss, change, and transition, right? That we have navigated through this. And this is what you got to understand. This is what's important. I'm in the group that gets it. When I'm in need of grief, conversation, and support, I remember to reach out to others who get it. They're my people right now. When you think about fraternities and sororities, and I ain't never been in one, but and I could be wrong, but just from the outside looking in, you got a group of people that go through this initiation, and through that initiation, they develop and form this bond that enables them to make it cross over, become part of the organization or whatever the case may be. And they develop these close bonds. That's what it appears to be on the outside looking in, because they all went through this together. When you think about grief in terms of we're in this fraternity or sorority, there we need to start a grief fraternity and sorority. What are the Greek letters for grief? We need to start something. Grief, phi grief, or something. I don't know. When you think about those who have navigated through these waters, when you need support, right? When you need support, who better to reach out to connect with than those who have waded through these waters? Who better to reach out for support than those who have gone through what you've been through? And loss is loss, right? So you got people who have more. So like if you got two people who have lost a father, right, then they may be able to connect even more just because of the intricacies of those particular loss. But whether you lost a father over here and somebody else done lost a wife over here or something, there's still a commonality in loss. And so it is very beneficial when you're navigating through these waters. If you need support, some people, those that get it, get it. Those that don't, don't. So there's a level of comfort, there's a level of support, there's a level of strength, there's a level of camaraderie, there's a level of, again, support you can receive from people who have navigated through the same loss that you've gone through as well. So when I'm in need of grief, conversation and support, sometimes just conversation. Sometimes it's just conversation. I'm in need of some grief conversation, because when you get it, you get it. And there are certain things about it that you definitely get because you navigated through it. So there's certain conversations you can have, right? About the loss, the change, the transition, the afterwards, the aftermath, picking up the pieces. There's certain conversations you can have that other people wouldn't be able to identify with. There's certain conversations you can have just about the whole process, right? That you can have the other people, they may not understand. When I'm in need of this conversation, when I'm in need of this support, guess what? I'll remember to reach out to others who get it. Guess what? They my people right now. That I can use my awareness to make this world a more grief welcoming place. I can use my awareness to make this world a more grief welcoming place. Today is day 312, where the grievers dwell. I'm sensitive to grief. If y'all got any questions, holla at your boy. I want to say this too. If y'all got questions, drop them in the chat. I want to say this too. This is important. I'm working on my dissertation, and I'm working on I don't know, it's just a new way of navigating through grief. And one of the things is important that I was telling somebody, we got to reach upward to God to help us to navigate through the process, but we got to reach inward to feel what we feel and go through that whole process. But then we got to reach outward too. And reaching outward is kind of twofold: outward to others, outward in community, outward as it relates to our village. But also, we got to reach outward and helping others along. Like, you don't go through what you went through without putting yourself in a place and in a space to help other people to navigate through that same thing, right? And so don't sit on your survival. Don't sit on your survival. If God blessed you to survive, and I think this is part of the healing process as well, that whatever God has blessed you to survive, right? That as you go through your process, you navigate through your grief journey, and you start to gain ground and wisdom and grow and heal and all of these things. Y'all, you got to reach outward to others who are going through the same thing, right? You got to reach outward to others, because again, This is a fraternity and a sorority that, man, I'm really, really digging this. It's a really, really, I'm having a moment of clarity, right? So very interesting that a lot of people, are, if you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't. But we have a responsibility to reach outwards to others who have experienced loss as well, to help them to navigate through the process. That's how we develop. That's how we heal in community, right? That's how we go through. That's how we grow through. That's how we navigate through all of this. And so just be mindful of that as you navigate through your process. Appreciate y'all. November 6th is the day my husband died and the whole body hurt. Yeah. And that's some real stuff. Keeping you lifted up in prayer. Hey, Miss Nadine Patterson. Yes, ma'am. Thank you so very much. I'm glad that you are tuned in. I was talking about you the other day. And I appreciate you tuning in. I appreciate y'all, all of y'all. Amen. Man, I love y'all with the love of the Lord. Y'all continue to hang on and hold on. We gonna make it. We gonna navigate through this thing. So be encouraged as we continue to forge ahead and navigate through our grief journey. I'll see y'all tomorrow, same time, same place. In Jesus' name, let's go.